All right, we're gonna try something new here. I actually have angle of the opponent that I played against. So we've got a match against Tacitus here on Matera or Tacitus. Sorry, I don't know exactly how to say your name. I say it like three different ways in my head every time I see your name. But on the left hand side of my screen, I've got his camera angle and his recording, and on the right hand side, you'll be able to see mine. I did end up winning this match, and I am just gonna make sure that they are synced up just a little bit. So these are pretty much synced up now, so you can kind of see what it looks like from both of our angles and kind of how we're doing things. Um, yeah, so I ended up winning this match. So right off the bat on the right hand side, what I'm doing is take a transport of riflemen, and I want that to go all the way to Lima. I want to secure Lima, and then I want to go a rifleman walking to Delta, and then a rifleman walking to Whiskey. This is a little bit of a slower start here for the EFEC, but we're really late into the war, and what I'm thinking is that he's going to have really higher level units and have special attacks and really just be able to beat me in a straight heads up fight if I go to Alpha or if I try to like sprint into Sierra. Um, and I don't really have mission supports that are really going to help me here. I only have electronic warfare, and he's going to have force recon and airstrikes available on the map, so I can't do that. So immediately I'm scouting out. I see he's going to Bravo, and I want to point out one thing here from Tacitus is you deployed a transport, a rifleman, and another rifleman, and then you waited the command points until you could have 6 command points to deploy your command vehicle. Um, I'm fine with this start from you, but what I want you to do instead is deploy your command vehicle as unit number 3. And then the 4th unit that comes in right at the start of the match, deploy that rifleman that's going to walk to Foxtrot. Save those 2 command points. It's just kind of like a waste of command points for a command vehicle that's just going to sit in the back. Um, and that way, like you get all 4 units out on the battlefield. You can have your command vehicle kind of moving already anyway. It just seems like a waste of 2 command points. That's just like one of those things where like if you're ever in a situation where you're going to deploy a rifleman and have them get picked up by a transport and carried somewhere, have that rifleman be the one that gets deployed as the 4th unit, unless you really got to get going somewhere fast. That's you kind of want to deploy that rifleman at that point. But this one, like I wanted to go to Lima on the right hand side of the screen. You can see I wanted to go to Lima really quick, so I got them all the way to Lima. I scouted out. I saw you had a transporter rifleman going to um, Alpha back there in the corner, and I saw a pop up a ping that you were gonna be securing Foxtrot. So I knew right then you're not rushing anything. So that let me kind of take my time too with these back deployments, and I deployed some tanks, and then I ended up deploying artillery. Just kind of taking a little bit of a defensive posture here. With Whiskey, I'm going to go ahead and secure electronic warfare. There's not a whole lot for me to talk about on the left side of the screen with what you're doing because you're deploying and you're upgrading the force recon. I can see you're using the engineers to do combat drones on Bravo. I don't know. I see a lot of noobs and a lot of lower level people doing this all the time. But like putting that combat drone on Bravo does pretty much nothing for you for the cost of a command point. So we've now lost 3 command points to just like things that aren't really helping you. And I know you're going to bring your artillery over there eventually, but if you think about it, like what's that guard brigade doing for you for the foreseeable future? You already have engineers there. So what's that guard brigade really doing for you? Um, So I take Delta, I take Whiskey, I take Lima. I'm immediately running from Delta to Alpha and from Lima to Sierra. I know he's got no armor because I keep scouting out on the right hand side of the screen. I can see he's got like no tanks coming at me. He's got no transports. He's got um, one artillery unit that just got deployed and it's making its way. So he's basically got like no way to stop me if I just get my guys walking to Alpha. I just got to get them there on time. And I'm also going to just run in and take Sierra because at that point I take 5 of the 7 uplinks. Even if he crashes an uplink, I still have the timer in my favor. So right here I see Tacitus. You deployed 1 force recon. You sent it to Delta, I believe, is that one. You got really low frame rates on your potato there, bud. I got my gunship is starting to scout. I see he's got an artillery. I see he's got a tank. Here I ended up, I wasn't really sure what to go after. I thought I could maybe pick off his artillery from just enough of a distance from that guard brigade. But I think the command vehicle's guard brigade is what came over and stopped me. So really what I should have done there is just kind of pulled over and maybe hit his tank a little bit. And here comes the force recons. He's starting to send out force recons. So if you think about what's going on right now on the map, I secured Delta Whiskey Lima. I have 12 command points to his 8 that he secured. I also am about to secure Sierra and Alpha. And I already have like a pretty good set of armor out on the field. You know, I have a 9 units to your 5, I think is what you have. And I know you've got the Force Recon coming in, but my artillery can take out your FAVs. I've got a gunship that can deal with the tanks. The artillery and the tanks can help deal with the rest of it too. So I'm like in a really defensible position here, and I'm about to secure both of these uplinks and just be able to deploy a crap ton of units, and that's exactly what I do here. I hit both of them. I got 12 command points. I've got electronic warfare. I just start deploying some units. I drop, looks like some more gunships. I just drop a bunch of gunships in there on you. Come after you. So now you're going to have to deal with 4 gunships. And looking on your side of the screen, you've only got your transport. Yeah, so at this point, you're going to crash an uplink, crash my whiskey, which is fine because I'm going to lose E-Warfare, but I've got a rifleman on Sierra that I'm just going to start upgrading that to electronic warfare anyway. And I've got that rifleman from Whiskey. If you look on the mini map on the right-hand side of the screen, I've got that rifleman from Whiskey already moving in towards Lima, so I can have it defensible. So if you do go try to go after Lima, I've got a rifleman already there. Here I make a little bit of a mistake. My artillery isn't moving back. It's a little too far forward. I lose track of my units. I'm still getting like comfortable with playing on PC again, and I've only played a couple of matches here in the last year or so, so I'm still getting a little comfortable. But I mean, just look at the unit cards at the bottom of the screens, and you do a very good job of actually dealing with me with all these units. But yeah, this is something where I've got 4 gunships now, so your force recon really isn't going to be all that effective. You end up WMDing me here. I tell my gunships to just start moving once I hear the WMDs coming in, and most of them actually survive this. You only hit a tank and a gunship with that, so it ends up working out really well for me. I see you're over at Bravo with most of your force, so I just decide I'm going to nuke Bravo, and then I'm taking my rifleman, Unit 3, and I'm walking over at you. I had already moved my rifleman off of Alpha because you were hitting it. I put him in the tree line, and then I was telling them to go to Bravo. Now that I've nuked Bravo, you have no way of stopping me over there. On the other side of the map, I'm at Lima, and I see your riflemen are getting out. So what I do is, because your riflemen are getting out to go secure that uplink, I tell my riflemen to upgrade Lima to electronic warfare. Since my guys are inside the building, your guys can't get into the building. And that stops you from being able to just start the capture immediately. It means you have to actually down my riflemen before you can do anything. So that's one trick. If you're out there, if you see a rifleman deep strike on you or something like that, just start upgrading the uplink. And here you have a tank that goes down because it's just kind of like out there. I feel like the community is pretty okay with unit killing, is what I've been hearing. And I know it still sucks when it happens, but if you leave a unit that goes down and it doesn't cost me anything in order to kill it, I'm going to kill it. That's kind of how I look at it. You know, I didn't lose any time or anything like that. Here I end up telling my riflemen that are at Sierra to get in the transport because we're going to go take Foxtrot. My riflemen at Lima finally go down. They went down a little before I could get your riflemen down, which kind of sucked, unfortunately. And yeah, I like this is pretty much like how this match went. You did pretty good from here on, actually. I do think that like you made some really good choices here. I made some really big mistakes too. I see your transports coming after taking Alpha or taking Bravo. Actually, I keep mixing this up. Bravo's the one on the backside. But I've got my riflemen there already. I've got my artillery that can kind of get up and into range and kind of help deal with your transport. I can also evac my rifleman from Bravo and just kind of let you have it. Right now I'm sitting on command points. I probably should have just EMP'd something before the command points went off, but like I can't spend them on anything, so it's not really that big a deal if I capture and I lose the 4. I'm I'm trying to scout your spawn to see if there's any tanks or anything coming down, and then I'm just gonna stop your transports here because I'm on my way to take um, Foxtrot. And so again, even though you took all that time to go over to Lima and take Lima, my timer is still ticking down because I just had multiple places for you to deal with. Here I end up evacuating my rifleman just to get the chopper there. I don't know if it really mattered, but I'm trying to deal with your transports. You end up taking Bravo here, actually, which was really good. And then where my mistake was right here is I should have been getting more tanks down and just getting up here with tanks. I really took way too long. And I also didn't realize you deep strike here to Delta. I just completely missed that you were deep striking Delta. At least I think that's what you're doing. I know you were on Delta, but I never saw it actually. Yeah, that's what happened. You deep strike Delta. I just completely whiffed on that happening. So that's what took me by surprise the most when I was playing. Was that was a really smart move to take Delta like that. Um, I just was not paying enough attention to it when I should have been. Now I thought your transport had infantry going to Alpha there, so I just EMP'd it, and then artillery downed it. And then you started pulling out the electronic warfares here too. I also made a mistake here. My unit 12, I told it to go to Lima, forgetting about your force recon, and it just gets wiped out by your force recon that's back there. So really, your force recon 2 that you sent back there, the only thing it did this whole match was it downed a transport of riflemen, which, to be fair, it really did slow me down a lot in like trying to come back against you. But you spent 4 command points on it, and it like gave me a lot of time early to get this big advantage that I've had. So here I'm just deploying transports of riflemen on my side. I'm sorry, I keep looking at my side more than yours to try to explain that, but I'm deploying transports of riflemen because I know that at the end of the day, this is conquest. I got to get up there and take those uplinks, and I only have like 40 seconds left on that timer. So if I can get uplinks in, then we're good. We're just kind of duking it out. Looks like you got riflemen evacing. I didn't even realize you were riflemen evac from Lima. I would have taken the transporter rifleman from Foxtrot and gone right to Lima, but oh well. You spent a lot of points here on EMPing my units instead of getting more units out yourself. You barely have any units on the field right now. You've got like 4. You knock out my transport. You're taking out my transports back there on Foxtrot. I just start getting picked up my riflemen from Foxtrot, and I was like, let me just pick them up and take them to go secure another uplink. Deployed another transporter rifleman. I see your riflemen are walking out in the open, so I just start force attacking with my artillery. I'm really just trying to stop them. That's like my main focus, is just stopping you from capturing things. Here I missed with an electronic warfare. I thought I was locked onto you. It looked like I clicked on you, but I just missed your transport completely there. That really fucking pissed me off. Unit 1 goes down, which means I lose that rifleman. Like, I just played that so poorly back there, too. If I knew you had a rifleman and a transport coming up, I would have just done the thing with the upgrading the uplink again. But yeah, you ended up EMPing my artillery just long enough to keep me from having the ability to stop your rifleman. But I've already got a transport heading to Delta with riflemen in it. I just tell my tanks to just disengage from your riflemen, which you could go 50-50 on what that's all about. But I want to take out your force recon tank as quickly as possible, take my transporter rifleman up and secure Delta. I really wish I had deep strike. I actually won this match without deep strike. If I had deep strike, then things would have been a little different. Would have been a lot more able to just deep strike and deploy back on you. But yeah, now I started deploying tanks. And yeah, this is where you started getting me to sweat. Actually, you just kept sending transports at me, and I didn't have tanks to deal with them. And I really could have stopped your rifleman securing Alpha if I would have just been a man and sent my transport right in on top of them. Like the transport could have downed the riflemen. They were that low. I could have probably stopped you securing Alpha, but you end up getting Alpha. You down my artillery. Right now, like look at the map, look at what's going on. You've got a rifleman on Foxtrot. You've got a command vehicle, 2 transports, a tank. You EMP me. You've got 4 command points. Like you've got a pretty good shot right now at like putting some pressure on me. You just got to figure out how you're gonna do it, right? And right now, like you need armor on me. Like I'm just running around with transports and gunships. Like you need some tanks to deal with my transports. I need tanks to deal with your transports. We all need riflemen to secure uplinks. But you've got me on a 4-minute timer. Yeah, so now I finally send my transport in. If I had just sent my transport in before, I would have stopped you before you even down the uplink. That kind of got to me. But I've got 7 command points. I've got the guys on Delta. I'm like getting my transports a rifleman. I got a transporter rifleman that just deployed. I'm sending them all the way to Bravo. We're gonna get that. We're getting that fucking uplink. You forward command and deploy an engineer here, which I kind of liked. Like that was a really smart idea. It threw me off, but the problem is it cost you 8 command points to get 1 engineer, and I feel like people forget that sometimes. But now I've got the 2 tanks. I see your transports going to Sierra, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not letting you go to Sierra. I assumed you had riflemen in those. I actually don't know. Doesn't look. I don't think you did actually. But that was my thought. Was like I was like, oh, he's got that in there. I send another transport of riflemen to go to get Alpha, even though you got the engineer there. I just want the riflemen to get out and get on top of your engineer, deal with it for me. I got the gunship coming in on your tanks. I've got the 2 tanks on your transport there. You didn't EMP both my tanks. One thing I did is I actually told my tanks to drive all the way up into his transports. So you can see how that's playing out right now in my unit 7. It's driving into his transport. So if he had told them to run away, then they would have just turned hightail and run, and my tanks would have been sitting still. But instead, my tanks are driving right through them, so they're always going to be in range if he tries to run. And then I put my transport right here on top of his tank, and it makes it to where his tank can't shoot at me. But then I have to get away from them because I am trying to get after Bravo. So right here, I just make the decision, get that infantry unit out of the vehicle. So that way, if a vehicle gets destroyed, I don't lose a whole squad of riflemen too. I've got the 1 rifleman squad that's deploying on Alpha now. I've got this rifleman squad that's coming in to support. So even if he knocks 1 down, I've got the other one. Yeah, that's kind of my plan. I ended up sending 8 over to Bravo. And I'm just looking at the map being like, he doesn't have a whole lot to stop me right now. My tanks are kind of in the middle. I'm just watching for where are you going to secure uplinks. And right now it seems like you're just happy with sitting on Alpha and hoping that this timer goes down. You're not. See, you could have stopped me here. If you'd have started upgrading Alpha, if I tell my riflemen to secure Alpha while you're upgrading it, my riflemen end up getting bugged and they walk away from the uplink. And then you nuke. I don't even remember what you nuked. What'd you nuke? All my tanks and stuff? Yeah, you hit my tanks and transports. Actually a really good one. You hit like 4 units or 3 units there. But your engineers are going down. I'm getting Alpha. I don't see any like counter response from you, like at all. What do you have? A transporter rifleman, you got a gunship and a command vehicle. Your engineers are down. I'm taking Alpha. I got riflemen walking, just openly walking into Bravo, and you've got nothing to stop them. Your command vehicle, you should have told your command vehicle to move and sit on Bravo. And then its big ass gun would have been shooting at me. And now I'm here and I'm sitting, I'm like, hey, now I have my WMD again. And oh, you're going after Sierra? All right, I'm just gonna nuke it. That'll stop your rifleman. Because I remember I only have a 40-second timer. So once Bravo is secured, then I'm good. And then I just deploy all my units and I make sure I've got a rifleman and a transport again because it's about conquest. And you've got 6 reserves and I've got 0. I don't care if I win the game and I've got 0 units, I still won the match. So, there's no point in really sitting on all your reserves if you have the command points. I think you end up saving up for an deep strike here, which at this point both of our WMDs are out. You've already taken out all my armor. Like it's too late into the match. You kind of once you got WMD'd at Sierra, it was kind of over there. But you had the command points to deploy, a bunch of transports and riflemen. You could have been, going after Sierra, had another one coming in behind at Sierra, or just skip Sierra, send one to Sierra, send one to Alpha, which is next to me. It's past all my gunships. I don't have any tanks or anything up there yet. So you could have gone like after Alpha. You could have just bypassed Bravo completely, or just gone right to Bravo. But you would have needed to take something. And that's how the match ends. You have 5 reserves, and I've got 0. And I've got more units on the battlefield than you still. Yeah. So, I mean, I made some mistakes too, and I gave you some openings there to beat me. And ended up being a really close one still. But that was a fun match. Looks like you got some levels, got some hardened and a veterans units. I didn't get any upgrades out of that, which is unfortunate. And I finally unlocked Deep Strike thanks to that win. So have fun. Good luck. This was a blast. I hope you learned a lot from this. And if you're watching this, I hope you're subscribed to the channel and you're part of the EndWar Discord Revival Discord server because we have a lot of fun playing this. So thanks again, ICECOLDSNAKE. See you next time.